This is Mark Salisbury at TuitionFit. I am here with Danny Umali from Game Theory, College Planning. This guy has got something going on that's really special, and I'm so glad to introduce you to him. Danny, you got to tell us how did you decide to get into this? What drove you to start doing college planning?
Well, the quick story is I got into this by accident, but the real story is why I do this. And what I can tell you is I was a child of the 80s, one of the most glorious times in American history. And I had 5 siblings. So I'm number 4 of 6 kids. And I was the child of Filipino immigrants. And mom and dad worked at the post office, even with overtime. They were pulling in maybe 70K with 6 kids. And
Mm.
that, that, that was tough, and the college plan for us was the same conventional wisdom that holds true today of go in state because it's cheaper. And that's exactly what happened with my 3 siblings ahead of me. But my friend, his dad, took me under his wing and said, Danny, there are schools that are willing to pay you for what you've accomplished. And I was the first one in my family to leave home. And I ended up going to Mercer, which is why I'm here in Atlanta. And what really, knowing what I know now, okay, with the benefit of having data, such as the data that TuitionFit provides, is looking back, I knew my family had a 0 EFC. And if I just had the data that I have then that I have now, I could have sent all my brothers and sisters to college for next to zero cost. So I meet families all the time where I see myself in that same situation, and it's I have to tell them that the conventional wisdom is wrong. And like I had a young lady right now, dad lost his job because of the pandemic.
Mm.
Okay. But the silver lining on the cloud, I told the family, was look, we're gonna get some money here. Long story short, she's going to USC in California for $7,000 a year. That is that's a $77,000 a year college. They gave her a $70,000 a year discount. And in any other situation, she just would have been going in state with the Hope Scholarship for $20,000 a year. Okay, maybe she gets the Pell Grant. She's going for 18,
Mm.
but that's what gets me so worked up. That's why I'm really passionate about having the right data and really recognizing that there are components of how we consult with students, whether it's at the guidance counselor's office, whether it's an educational consultant, that for me, it's alarmingly out of date because it's not supported by data. So that's why I get really intense and really worked up about this subject, but
So
that's why I do it.
tell me about how, I mean, the data thing is such a big deal to me and to you, and tell me how price transparency plays into that importance of data.
I'm going to try to do this in a few minutes,
Simple.
a couple of
Yeah.
minutes, because I could talk about this all day. So when I started college planning back in 2010, I was working with our mutual friend, Al Hoffman at the College Funding Service Center. And I didn't know this at the time, but what makes his approach so unique is he's data driven. And we have an archive of award letters. And we use award letters to help project what merit awards are going to look like for a student before they even apply. So having that data shapes everything we do, from how we pick colleges to how we use enrollment management principles to create a competitive marketplace, because it's actually the colleges that are buying the students, not the other way around. And even to when we assist families with appeals, none of that happens without data. So archiving those award letters it's a compass that allows us to keep the pulse of what's going on in higher ed. For example, we know that merit awards went up across the board at a lot of schools during the pandemic. schools were really concerned about their enrollment yield. So they tended to be more generous with how they awarded. We wouldn't have known that if we didn't track the data. So it's indispensable. Now, this is how I learned to do planning. This is how I learned it. And from my standpoint, it's just unthinkable to try to plan for college any other way, to not take into account what we think the costs are going to be. And I think that's one of the deficits I see a lot. We tend to be occupied about how do we get in. I'm more of a get in, fit in, get paid, get out in 4 years kind of planner. But that's why I think it's important.
So I really want to hear just at least one. You dangle carrots all the time in front of me and get me going. So I got to know, like, tell me one situation where when you had the real award letters, like what TuitionFit provides people, what does that do? Like, how does that change the way that the family thinks about the strategy for moving forward? How does that change the game?
Okay, so I was on the board of directors at there's a boarding school here in Atlanta, and the dean of the school had a daughter that was getting ready to go to school, and she applied to Fordham. So he said, "Hey, would you take a look at this award letter?" Sure. Took a look at it, looked at the data. This award letter feels a little light. We might want to appeal. He got an extra $16,000 a year on the appeal. That's a lot. That's a lot of money.
Over 4 years, that's a boatload of money.
I mean, it really begs the question, why didn't the college open with that offer?
Mm-hmm.
So I even have families that they get a free consult. I had a family come to my workshop and said, "Yeah, we're not going to do the consult. We don't want to waste your time. We already picked our school. We have a senior. And we actually got the award letter." I said, "I don't care. Come in for the consult. I'm going to find something to teach you." So they came in with the award letter. I looked at it. "Oh, this looks a little light. You might want to appeal. Here's the strategies. Here's how you do it." And I never heard from them again until 4 years later, when the sister of the mom came in and said, "I don't know if you remember them," because and I found them on the calendar. I knew exactly where they were. "But when they used your letter, the college gave them an extra $6,000 a year." You'd think they would have told me. They would tell me and say thank you, but that's okay. I found out later on. But that's 24 grand.
Yep.
With having data, file an appeal, boom.
Yep.
Why, as an educational consultant, are you not doing this?
Well, that's why we built TuitionFit, to make it easy for everybody to access this data and empower their families and do the job that we've always wanted to do, is help people out. So Danny, thank you for your time. I really appreciate it. Awesome to see it work. The passion is like flying through the screen at me.
Sorry about that.
No, I love it. Thanks a lot. Have a great day.
You do the same.